Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, and we'll all stay free.
Hi guys, it's Mark and Martin, and today in another episode of Dust Devils Poland we will show you the contents of the Marine starter sets and some bonus units. So the box itself that you can buy from Dust Studios, primed or painted in deluxe models, is looking the same way as previously the mercenary boxes or the German Blutkreuz units. So the size is the same and basically the contents are also identical. So you get one walker, one hero and a 5-man squad. The interesting thing is that both the infantry squad and the hero are unique for the starter set. There is no other way to buy them. They were not part of the Babylon Kickstarter campaign. And the Bushmaster walker that you can find inside could be bought by Kickstarter, and I guess some guys should receive it with Wave 2, but I haven't seen any pictures from US, and we still haven't got the Kickstarter Wave 2 in the Europe yet. But we got mail that it's arrived in the UK warehouse, so it's coming soon. Let's hope. It's way too late, but it's still coming. Okay, so insides are similar, so we've got the miniatures book, we got the quick starter set rules, we got the gaming mats, the terrain tiles, and other promotional leaflets. The thing that is different is the bonus content. So previously it was the Frank miniature. Now with this starter set and the new SSU starter set with Rosa taskforce, you get the abandoned well that Martin will unpack and show us in a minute. And also you get the taskforce diver leaflet inside. And what's nice in this leaflet is that they mention the ability that diver has, which is only usable in Dust Battlefield, and it's mentioned here. Previously we got abilities that were usable only in Battlefield, and there was no mention that they're only in Battlefield. That confused new players. This is good, and this is how it should be done. The leaflet itself is interesting and brings about some facts concerning the units inside, and it's nice to have some fluff background for these. So this is okay. And now for the abandoned well, what do we have inside?
We got inside a new place made from the very hard plastic.
It's resin
or resin, something like that. Additional small crane, small ladder, some wood.
Yeah, these have some planks, some wooden planks to cover it. Okay.
Everything to glue together and to paint. Looks very nice. Much better than the abandoned well that was received in the Wave 2 Kickstarter. This is straight from the Dust Studio. As you can see,
the pictures of this.
Very nice.
This one looks better. It's very easy to paint. We have a friend that painted it already. You can see the pictures on the Dust Tactics officials page, and this is like Axis Apes. Quick, easy to paint, and very rewarding because it looks good.
And what's more, the size of it fits very well to the squares of the tactics mats.
So it's a great objective marker for your games. And now let's get back to the stuff that interests you the most. So the Marine units and their statistics. So I'll start with the heroes. So the hero for this starter set is Diver, Lieutenant Tom Derrick, Australian Imperial Force, and it's the first Australian unit we can have in the game. Australian guys got their own badge on the back of the card that you will see up close on the YouTube. It cost is 9 points, so it's the same that Machete Mac from Babylon Marine starter set. And if you look closely, the miniature is very similar. I think it may be the same mold, but just positioned a bit differently, especially the arm with the machete. The body was probably moved a bit. Diver also has some different details than Machete Mac. He has a hat, he has a backpack, Maciek Mac had his bar on his back, he has some loaders on his front, and a machine pistol instead of a machete in his right hand, but the model looks pretty similar. The guys cost the same, it's 9 points for each of them. The main difference is that Diver has move of 3, the basic move, and March move for both of them are 5. So he's a bit faster than the Machete Mac, and it's good to join to any assault squad like Hellblazers or Firestarters, which we'll talk about in a minute. He also got 1 point of life more. He's expert with his submachine gun. He's brave, that only works in Battlefield sadly, so no use for this in tactics, so we pay for something that we cannot use, but maybe in future it will change as the gossip goes. And the main reason why you pay 9 points for this guy, while you could have an officer like Maciek Mac for these points, is that he's an infantry aide. So you can get a third action if you roll target or faction symbol. All in all, it's a very good hero, and I choose him as my hero unit for the last dust off that we went to with Martin, and he proved really good. He lacks the officer skill that Maciek Mac uses, but if you want your hero to lead your army to get into the fighting, you don't need the officer skill, you want him to be expert in his weapon, and if you can get a third action with him and he has such a good move rating of 3 like this guy, why not? He's very good, in my opinion better than Maciek Mac for most marine armies. So now a few words on the close combat squad that come with Marines. You can always use the Saints, which we talked about in some of our previous video about Marine Starter Set, which are a great unit for 5 points, but they lack the Flamethrowers. And here are 2 Flamethrower guys units, the Fire Starters that come with the Diver Starter Set, and the Hellblazers that you could pick up with the Kickstarter Babylon campaign. Some of the guys thought that it's a 1 unit, and that does to just change their armament from shotguns to machine pistols or the other way around, but those are 2 separate units. And the main difference is that the Firestarter guys come with 3 shotguns and 2 flamethrowers, and Hellblazers guys come with 3 M4 submachine guns and 2 flamethrowers. Also, the point cost for those guys is identical, so it's 7 points for the Hellblazers and 7 points for the Firestarters. Now, the main reason why you want the Firestarters in your army and you don't want the Hellblazers in your army is that Hellblazers got move rating of 2 and March move of 5, and Firestarters got the great move of 3, which allows you to join the Diver hero to them, and you get a great assault squad with 3 basic move and third action if the Diver rolls good. For me, it's easy choice, always go with the Firestarters. The Hellblazers are good enough with the Flamethrower, but not worth the points if you can have the Firestarters. Okay, so now it's time for the creme de la creme of the Marines army, the command squad, the Mustangs. So they are cheaper than their Armor 2 counterparts, only 10 points for a command squad, so only 1/10 of your 100 army, so very good for that. But they lack the firepower, so usually in a command squad you have MG or PTRS in the SSU Guards one. Here you don't have the machine gun, the only heavy weapon in this squad is the BAR, carried by this guy, and the rest of them got M4 submachine guns and shotguns. So if you're attacking someone in close combat, these guys are good to go, the shotguns and M4s, but in range 3 or more, but in range 4 or more, they are not very good because of only 1 BR. But it's a command squad, you don't care about the weapons, you care about their command abilities, and it's a full-fledged, very good command squad for 10 points, so the saved points can go to another unit to get a bigger worker or other stuff. The miniatures themselves are very nice detailed. They get some new stuff that shows that this guy is a medic because he has a medic box with a cross on the back. This guy got a wrench on his backpack, which hasn't been seen yet. A new type of radio on this guy that's used for the Marines artillery observers, and this radio man for the command squad also. And a command guy figurine with points his hand somewhere in the left, which looks good, and the detail is really nice. All in all, if you can have this command squad and the Armor 2 or 3 command squads, well, I wouldn't care about them and take the one that is cheaper to have the command abilities on the field. They never get into the fight, basically, and if they do, then you're already losing, so why not?
Now let's talk about got some armor weapons that we can find. It's a Bushmaster, next walker from the light walkers family. The first we talk about the stats. You got the similar basic stats like movement or armor. Armor 2, movement 3, 6, 7 point cost. So it's about similar point cost, but we got something different. The previous walkers was the phasers or the anti-aircraft walker. Now this walker is truly universal. He's got anti-tank recoilless rifle that are also good against the infantry, and the MG vertical against infantry targets. The model, comparing to the old ones, got some difference. As we can see, there are difference in the legs, different pose. He's got lack of the knee pads. He's got, you can see some details inside the cabin, as we can name it. What's more, the main weapons are only on one side. The other side is there's a canisters with ammunition, and we got new marine guy, very nice detail, like the normal guys. We got also M4 submachine gun, but he can use it. That's sad. More about statistic about this recoilless gun that we didn't have seen before. It's a very nice gun against the infantry. It's 1 per model and range 8, so we can shoot a guy even almost on the other side of the table. It's very nice against the light targets like armor 1, 2 and 3. We got two dices. 2 dices per death or 2 dices per 4. It's not very well against the 4 class and up and higher. It's not planned to counter heavy targets. His main job is to distract enemy forces or kill small units like command wagon. That's why Marek very like this unit. He proved it on the Dust Championship in UK. That this unit is worth its 7 points. It was very versatile and useful unit to make hit and run attacks. The recoilless rifle on Bushmaster are also given to the normal Marines infantry. As we can see, these guys named Hotshots. They got 3 M44 bars on range 6 and 2 recoilless rifle. Slightly different because these are M18 recoilless rifle and the Bushmaster got M20. The differences are mainly because they got 1 dice per 1 barrel, but the damage output is lower. They got a casual movement like 2-5, armor 1. They cost 8 points. So for the 8 points, you got a very versatile unit that at range 8 got 2 dices against 2 dices per model against the infantry, and then the range 6 they got also 3 bars. So very long range, nice unit to provide cover for any close combat units that we seen before.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next episode in which the Marine Starter set will be fighting against the mercenary girls. We hope you had fun and see you in the next episode of Das Devils Poland. See you, bye!
See you soon!